Assalamu
Alaikum assalam.
For mothers, as raising children here, I feel like raising your daughters is very difficult because they have a need for socializing and not intermixing, not being able to go out on their own without a mahram. Some of the daughters, like they will experience loneliness or depression or anxiety, and the boys are going out, but the girls are not having that opportunity to socialize. So what are exactly the rulings in Islam as far as, I mean, they do go to school. Well, we homeschool our kids, but then they do go to college, and of course there's boys there, and they don't interact with them per se, but they're in the presence of them. So what about like other activities? Because we're trying to keep them and raise them according to the laws of Allah, which is trying to not have them intermix, not have them go out without a mahram, but it's very limiting. And then even inviting other girls to our house, we have to make sure if they're conservative Muslims trying to follow the rulings, then the brothers are not home and the fathers are not home. It becomes really difficult, especially with the flexible hours. And if you're the only one homeschooling the weekdays, so it's just frustrating. Like, you want to not compromise with illicit, but at the same time, you want your daughters to socialize so they can be mentally healthy. Do you have any advice?
That is
just,
very...
just what are the rulings exactly? Is it too strict to say they can't go out? Because some people are letting their daughters do everything and saying it's okay, and then they're trying to say, well, Allah doesn't want you to do the mix, so are we wrong? And if that is the ruling, then what is the advice you can give us to help our daughters to be mentally healthy and get good social activity without compromising what Allah tells us to?
That is a very good question, and as a father of daughters myself who homeschool, I definitely feel your pain. I understand. No doubt that living in a non-Muslim society, not just in a non-Muslim society, in a society that has a lot of corruption, even conservative Christians and Jews and other religious traditions living in America face these challenges. But us as Muslims, obviously, because we stick to the divine way of living, it's even harder. And it's true, depression, isolation, lack of social skills is a challenge that we are facing amongst even our sons to a limit. You know, when you homeschool children and they don't have interaction. So, I mean, I'm just going to give some brief points. One is there are, and again, I don't know about the community here, but there are Islamic schools, even if they're online, like Shaykh Kareem and mashallah, our brothers have done an amazing job with the Safa Islamic Academy, which again does have physical sites, but if not in your city, you can have interaction with others, so it's not just your parents, utilizing that Islamic education for secular education, for regular high school and so on. And then there are, in addition to that, we need to have social programs, especially for the sisters. Like in our masjid in San Diego, we have Ummi wa Ana, yani me and my mother, which is a bi-weekly program for sisters and their daughters to come together with other Muslim women and their daughters. So you have the mother and the daughters intermixing with other Muslim women and their daughters. So they have social, they have, for the younger girls, they have activities. For the older girls, they have, programs. And then, they have food, they have outings within the bounds of the Sharia. So we definitely need programs like that. So in this community, mashallah, as we can tell, there is a masjid full of sisters, even though we can't see you, but we know you're there. So, you guys right now, today, sit together and say, hey, let's start a program in one of the masajid, and I'm sure the Imma are open to it, but if they're not, Shaykh Kareem and myself can speak to them and say, look, every Sunday, every Saturday, whatever day, we're going to bring all our daughters together here, and we're going to have programs. We're going to have, educational and fun activities. You can even, and I've seen in other cities, I've seen in Canada, for example, especially Western Canada, they have very good programs where they have sisters within the hijab and niqab and abaya get together and even go camping. They're not saying far away, not in a place of danger and things like that, not where they would be away so far that they would be considered travelers. But in the closer distance, they have places where they go and set up. And far away from that, but still within close range, they have the brothers to make sure nothing, is unsafe. But within that, they have programs, they have any horse riding and things like that, away from non-mahrams. So you can definitely develop programs. You have to take that initiative, right? So I'm giving you short answers, but tiers. The Safa and schooling that gives some social activity, then social programs in the masjid, in the youth that you guys can develop yourself. Then, at minimum, have a lot of family programs. Set up your Umrah trips. Get to those that are mahram around your family and have a lot of get-togethers. Have weekly dinners where you can have their cousins and things, other girls, and those like uncles and things that are mahram to have interaction. The last thing I'll say on that is you also have a lot of online communities today, not just like message boards and things, but taking lessons, taking Islamic courses where they can interact with other students of knowledge and they can develop bonds and so on as well. So utilizing all of those together. The most important of those is what I mentioned about developing sisters only programs in your masajid where you can have activities, because face-to-face interaction and social skills are very necessary for our sisters, and they're very important for not having depression and isolation issues, inshallah.